Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell 'em. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the topic session today. And man, excited about this one. Got two amazing dudes with us, Coach AJ Steward and Lubbock Smith the third. Man, just great guys, amazing athletes growing up. Was blessed to be on the same team in college. And, I was blessed to connect with them separately, but then found out, oh wait, that's my guy, that's my dude, and so decided to get us all together and just talk the transition to life after sports. These guys, I think, and I just want to make sure I say this on air, I think, again, I said it, they're great guys, but more than that, I think they have, their life and things that they do in the right perspective, and they help so many by mentoring them in a positive way to help them be better in their life. So first, man, I just want to say thank y'all for what you do, and thank y'all for taking the time to hop on with us today.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just have both of you guys come on and just tell a little bit about who you are and what you're currently doing now. And Stuart, if you want to start that first, and then Lubbock, after he goes, you can go.
Sure. Can you say it again?
Yeah, just tell them a little bit about, who you are and what you're currently doing.
All right. Good. My name's AJ Stewart. I'm a running backs coach at Arizona. Just got here a few weeks ago, but I've been coaching football for the last 9 years, and just grateful to be able to do it and make an impact.
There you go. What about you, Lubbock?
All right, so I'm Lubbock Smith III. I'm not from Lubbock, Texas whatsoever. I'm from Dallas, Oak Cliff to be exact. I'm currently the Director of Student Athlete Development and Leadership Programs, as well as the Academic Advisor for women's basketball, men's soccer, and women's soccer at Old Dominion University Athletics out here in Norfolk, Virginia.
There you go. Good deal. Well, if you guys don't mind, and we'll start with you, Stuart, kind of just talk about your transition from you playing and into what you are doing now. Like you said, you're running back, so you've been coaching for a while. So talk about your transition and how was that for you?
Transition wasn't easy. I think as a former athlete, I think the biggest thing is you have to re-identify yourself after playing sports your whole life. I started playing sports at 5 years old and never missed a season of football, baseball, basketball until it was all over with, after college. And so luckily I was able to get into a profession, that still involves sports. But I think it still can be tough to not be able to actually play the sport because that's just been your identity, throughout the course of your life, whether you wanted that to be your identity or not. People just, kind of associated you with that persona. And so it was a blessing for me to be able to, jump right into coaching, something that I kind of always had as a backup plan. Once football was over for me, I knew I wanted to be a coach in some capacity, whether it be high school or college or football or basketball. And so I think that was a huge part of me being able to make that transition, is that I kind of always had that in my sights. And to me, my plan B was still something that I felt like I could find purpose in, and could also restructure my identity with as well.
That's awesome. So, you talked about plan B, and man, that's crazy how you put that down. Like, you're playing 3 sports since the time you started until it was over. I mean, and like, man, you think about that. That's a lot of hours, sacrifice, time put into that over a course of many, many, many years. And then you go to the next day, bam, none of that.
Yeah.
So it can be like devastating to one. And I appreciate you like breaking it down like that, because like I knew, but like when you say it like that, man, like it puts it into big perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to think how much time has invested. I mean, I got done playing when I was 22 years old, and I started playing when I was 5 years old. And so, and it's just crazy, that it's like your life gets raveled up in that,
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, there was a lot of great memories and great things, but I think, people, I think people don't give as much love to former athletes in regards, to how much time was invested, because it is really hard for guys to really let that part of their lives go. But I think people kind of sweep it under the rug, the fact that, I mean, these guys have played, sports for, 12 to 15 years previously before they've, given up the sport and it's time to move on. And so I definitely have a heart for guys, that are that struggle with that transition.
Yeah. What about you, Lubbock, man? If you don't mind, talking to us about, your path, your experience, your path, and then kind of what it was like for you when you made the transition.
My transition was unique because I felt like I was in a position where things could have gone completely left and for the negative completely. I made a decision back in March of 2012. I gave my life to Christ. And then I feel like from that point on, I had been preparing myself for that transition to happen. And if it weren't for that, I feel like things would have definitely been detrimental for me. And I don't ever see myself being where I am now. And so I had done so many things, prior to that, from being involved, within the athletics department, from community service to, a number of things that we were doing so that way I can get, the opportunity that I have now, from internships to, connections, networking, all those things. I feel like I was doing all the right things that they, people tell you to do. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of like, is the opportunity going to happen for you? So for me, I just wanted to position myself so that way when the opportunity, came, I'll be good. And so the last game of my senior year, we played against West Virginia, and I tore my left knee up completely. So at that point, I knew going to the NFL wasn't probably going to happen, but I had a piece with it, so that way I knew that ultimately I was going to get to where God would have me to be. And, ultimately I wanted to be myself. And so I think I mentioned this last time we talked, but I want to also bring it up again to where I knew that if I wanted to be where I am today, I was going to have to take some jobs that I didn't want to do. I sold vacuums for Kirby. I was working with the Boys and Girls Club. Like, I was doing everything I can to get my master's paid for at KU, just waiting for that opportunity. And lo and behold, everything worked out to where I got insurmountable experience, job opportunities throughout the entire athletics department. I got my master's paid for. So for me, I feel like the transition was a struggle, but it was necessary. I feel like it needed to be a struggle and a grind and a hustle to help position me and get to where I am now. So that way I can help other, student athletes that come from the hood, come from hard backgrounds, single parent households, those things, you know what I'm saying? So that way they can really, make the most of the opportunity and help other people similar to them. So it was, I ain't gonna lie, like AJ mentioned, it was rough. It was hard. It's definitely something that I don't look for. I would not want to go back and relive it.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful and grateful for what it helped make me into the man I am today. And I'm grateful that, I was able to get exposure to those things, because now I have the perspective, I have the skill set and experience that can gain me credibility and be able to speak into people's lives. And I don't want to challenge what AJ said in terms of with the plan B, but I do want to give a different spin on it in terms of like, I didn't want a plan B wife. I didn't want no, plan B job, nothing like that. So for me, it's going to be plan 8.1, plan 8.2. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a linear approach, because if one thing don't work out, I'm like increasingly building up to that next thing we want to do. So I feel like being able to help impact student athletes with that similar approach is what's going to get them to like really see like they can obtain the same thing and be successful with their desires, their number one first choice desires, rather than the fourth or fifth or sixth one.
Man, I love that. I love how you broke that down. I think for me, as I hear you, explain that, there's another key component that I didn't mention when I introduced you guys, and that key component is your backgrounds. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so like I know, some of the things that you guys have gone through growing up, in the areas that you lived in, like you're, y'all have been blessed to, I don't know, through sports, through your grind, through your hard work, you've been blessed with some opportunities to achieve some amazing things coming from where you come from because of the work you put into it. And, for me, I think my co-author on the books that I've written, Dr. Oliver T. Reed, he says all the time that there's nothing wasted. There's nothing wasted. And all of those experiences that you guys, went through as far as struggles and family issues or, problems or, being around in environments where people aren't always doing, the right thing or what they should be doing. But, you guys have made the decisions continuously to choose to do the right things, to work hard, to put yourself in the right positions. And sports, and like I say with myself as well, sports has truly allowed those avenues, like when you get done with practice or whatever, like, man, what y'all gonna do? I'm going home and going to sleep. I'm tired, So, I think it's really helped to help mold us and guide us in the path to which we need to go. And another key component that I commend both of you guys for is also your faith beliefs. And man, that is so key. I think it's a key component to keeping us grounded in taking that transition from sports. And you said it, Lubbock, man, like man, if I hadn't found the big man, I don't know where I'd be,
Facts.
And I think it reminded me too, because, all of us, we've seen guys that handled it well, but then we've seen a lot more guys that haven't handled it well.
Got a lot of homeboys who, me and AJ both alike. Got a lot of friends that handle the transition well.
Yeah, man. And just, realizing the fact that, it's football is what you do, but it's not who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And AJ, if you want to, if you don't mind discussing, like say if there was, one of your players or a college guy or, a guy that's transitioning, what are some things that you would tell him that he would need to know or be aware of in making that transition effectively?
I think that here's a thing that I talk to my players about all the time is that like when they play for me, I want each and every one of them to have an opportunity to fulfill the goal of playing at the next level. Mm-hmm. If they have the abilities to, and I'm actually going to work my butt off to help those guys get to that point. Mm-hmm. But also throughout that process, I'm going to teach them that football is going to be over at some point. It's not the end all be all, and we'll definitely have more experiences outside of football. The biggest experiences in our lives are going to be outside of football. We're going to have kids, you're going to get married, you're going to, buy your first house with your wife. Those things are, you're going to have memories that surpass the memories that you created in football. Although, the football memories are great, but there's way more to look forward to in life. And so I teach them that, but also the things that make us great football players should make us great in whatever purpose that we have in life. You know what I mean? Like, I was always a pretty meticulous person, or meticulous player. Like, I made sure I was always on time, didn't miss, meetings, was always very responsible, with my time and respectful to my peers and all of that. That's how I was as a player. And those are some of the same things that have helped me thrive, in my career as well. And so I try to help identify those things within the guys throughout their course of their time playing for me. And, hey, if you can exceed expectations on the football field, you can exceed expectations off as well. And so
that's easy. If you once
yeah,
you learn it on the field, off the
absolutely.
field, that's easy. But you just got to make sure you do it.
Yeah, most definitely. And so I try to plant those seeds throughout the course of, my relationship with my players, just pointing out the fact that they already have the tools to have success in things outside of football, because I see it, and it's way tougher to do those things in football than in real life and, in your career. And so I really been blessed to coach some guys, some of my position group that have gone off and thrived in, in their respective professions, because, and it's no surprise to me, that, a guy that worked their butts off for me in practice, that they're thriving in, whatever profession they're in, because they're the same person, but they're allowing, God to use them in a different arena outside of football. And so for me, that's something I do make a big deal about, with my guys. And I think about it, especially when I have them for a handful of years, it helps them, when it's all over with, kind of come at peace and come to terms with, that there's things greater outside of football. And I just make sure I don't diminish the fact that, these guys are working their way to try to make it to the NFL as well, which, I want that for each and every one of my guys, but I still want to prepare them for that, or, the opportunities that come up once football is all said and done, whether they are done right there after they graduate, or, if they go play 5 years, 10 years in the NFL, that they'll be grounded in understanding that there's something bigger than what we're doing right now. And so I've also been blessed to work at some places with guys who kind of have that mentality a little bit already. But even the ones that didn't necessarily have it, those are the ones I really try to go out of my way to help prepare. Because like Lubbock said, we know a lot of guys personally, that we play with that still we've been playing for almost 10 years now, and they're still struggling to find their identity, and that's something that's, especially when they're people that you really care about, it's something that it hits home a little bit, harder. And so it's been a blessing for us to be able, in our profession, Lubbock and I, to be able to see that, firsthand, and then try to help these guys avoid, the lingering cloud over their lives of them, not having an identity outside of sports.
Yeah, you hit on, the disciplines. And I think for me, the disciplines that you learn through the process, it teaches you transferable skills. Just like you said, like if you can be on time, work your butt off, have a great attitude, do things the right way. Okay, it doesn't matter what field you transfer that to, like, faith, marriage, job, whatever it is, you're going to be successful because you've learned those disciplines, through
Absolutely.
sports, and you're perfect. You're evident of that. Like, bro, like, I'm not just telling you this, like, this is what I've lived, so like you can bank on it,
Absolutely.
Is the confidence that you can give to those guys. And I think it's awesome, man. What about you, Lubbock? Same question.
Repeat the question one more time. I want to make sure I answer it right.
No, yeah. As far as, you're blessed in what you do to be able around people where you can influence them to help them with the transition. What are some things that you would tell your people, mentees, to help them be better on the transition from sports?
The first thing I do is let them know that they have full ownership of their experience. At the end of the day, this falls ultimately on them. I can lay my head down on my pillow at night knowing that I gave my whole heart to make sure that they holistically developed. They became the full, person that they had potential to become. But ultimately, it's on them. So that's the first thing I do. And then with that being said, it's a sense of empowerment. So they have total control in terms of making sure that they are ensuring their success for life. So that way they're not just surviving, because we're not trying to do no more surviving. We're really trying to thrive in life.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're trying to do, is just merely get by, then cool. But if you're trying to thrive and succeed in life, then you need to take full ownership of your experience and make sure that you're holding yourself accountable to make sure that, you know, you go to class on time, you get A's and B's. I mean, you get C's and D's, you know, whatever, it happens. But you're progressing towards your degree in order to graduate on time, getting insurmountable opportunities, internships, experience, connections, network. If you're doing all those things, you're setting yourself up and you're taking ownership of your experience rather than having somebody coddle you, hold your hand, tell you where you need to be and when. Like, that's not, like for my male student athletes, I tell them straight up, like, bro, that's not being a man whatsoever. And if you want to be treated like a man, you need to conduct yourself like one. For females, there's a different approach. I come from a household of all women, so the way that I approach women is different, but it's the same thing. It's just knowing how people receive information. And I feel like once you receive information, then you have instruction. And so in order to have the right instructions to, you know, guide yourself towards success, you got to know where you're getting your information from. And I feel like a lot of times for people like us that, you know, me and AJ, because me and AJ come from the same background. Only difference is like his mom is white, my mom is black. Yeah. But our you know, experiences, our whole, like, everything, the same thing.
Yeah.
Hardships that's helped mold us into the man that we are today. But in knowing AJ's background and knowing, you know, the great mom that he had, and knowing the mentor, you know what I'm saying, hearing from him, the mentors he had, and just the self-will and self-determination and to become successful, you know, that's the type of information that he was giving himself while he was receiving the right information. I feel like right now, not everyone is doing this service, but there's a number of people in the way that how we structure Division I athletics and how we're doing the disservice to student athletes in a number of ways by not giving them the proper information that's going to help them be successful. Because like I said before, once you have information, you have instruction, but how you going to have instruction if you're getting the wrong information or you're getting the information in the wrong way? If you're telling me where I need to be and when all the time, that's not proper, you know, information. You know, you're not informing me like the way and how I need to know this information, the way that's going to help me in a practical way of how to be self-led and self-motivated without you trying to do it for me, which I feel is a detriment. So for me, when I engage and interact with any of my student athletes, it's first, like I said, you know, coaching them up on taking ownership of your experience, you know, holding yourself accountable. But I feel like, you know, from Jump Street, you know, I come from, like I already said, you know, a single parent household, you know, all women in the house. I'm the baby. I'm the youngest, only male in the house. And I remember when my pops went to prison when I was like 10 years old, my mom told me I was the man of the house. And from coaches and mentors in my neighborhood where I come from, like, you know, you're going to make it to the league. You know, you're going to get your mama a big house. I feel like that was real information, but I don't feel like that was the proper information that I needed to help me succeed beyond sports. Mm-hmm. I feel like sports is a platform that and is a vehicle that you utilize as a tool to get to your destination. You don't let, you know, your sport, you don't let football or whatever sport you play use you. You take advantage of it in the right way, so that way you impact others and you impact yourself to be successful in whatever avenue that you choose. But I feel like, you know, from jump, we're receiving a lot of, you know, toxic information that's, you know, feeding us and, you know, fostering the culture of, you know, this athlete identity, but you're not developing all the other identities that we hold. We have a lot of intersectionalities as people, as human beings. We're not just athletes, but I feel like whenever you see a person that has that talent, that raw talent and ability to be successful and make it to the pros, we focus only on that athlete identity. The other identities that you hold as a person, you know, for your gender, for your spiritual identity, you know, academic identity, all those things, that stuff go down. Athlete identity go up, but your athlete identity end at like 25 or 30, you know what I'm saying, or 33 if you make it Hall of Fame or something like that. Or you may not even play a sport that you can make it to the pros. So I just feel like, you know, we're doing a detriment by giving people the information that only, you know, fosters and supports one identity and one part of who we are, and not the complete person and who we are in order to become, you know, the successful person that we aspire to be. So all that stuff being said, I feel like you got to be intentional with making sure that they take ownership of their, experience, holding themselves accountable while we hold them accountable, but also engaging them and interacting with them with real, raw information, but giving them that love and that support that they need in order to grow.
Man, I love it, man. I think what I'm hearing from both of you guys, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong on this, but really it's important to develop the whole person.
Yep.
Is what you guys feel, right?
Holistic development. Yep.
And so I think taking ownership, going from your experiences, learning from your experiences. I think another key component is having the awareness to know that, yes, I have this amazing opportunity, but then on the other end of this opportunity, where do I want to go and be with this from learning through all of those?
Yeah.
And it allows you to be aware, okay, put myself around these people that can help me learn this, or, and I think, that's why I really secretly, that's why you guys were chosen for this topic session. Just so you know. But because I think both of you guys are amazing dudes, man, and you do great things for everyone around you, not just your athletes but your families. You've been blessed to learn so many things and grow through so many things, and man, you are valuable to whoever you're around, and I have no doubt that the people that are blessed to be around you, me being the first, because I'm saying this, is the people that are blessed to be around you definitely are better when they leave you.
That means a lot. I feel the same way about you.
Man, thank you. And so I wanted to make sure we get on, man, and just talk a little bit about the transition from sports. And I hope that those of you that have watched, can take some lessons from this and learn and use it to help use it to help those people that are around you. I hope you guys can take it and use it, to help the people that you're around. But before we get off, if you don't mind, sharing with the audience where they can go, follow you and check you out and support you. I think, again, like I said, you guys are involved in great things, and when you got great people doing great things, you got to support those causes, right?
For sure.
So, Steward, if you want to, start out by, again, saying where you are and where people can check you out.
Running backs coach at Arizona. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, coach_Steward, STEWARD. That's how you can reach out to me for anything as far as advice or, just to chop it up. That's where you can find me.
All right. Lubbock, what about yourself, my man?
Lubbock Smith III. You can find me on Instagram at Lubbock Smith. First name, last name. If you don't know how to spell Lubbock, you're not from Texas. It's LUBBOCK, last name Smith. That's my IG handle. And then Twitter, Lubbock Smith 1. And also on Facebook as well. This has been a phenomenal opportunity. Appreciate you a lot, as always.
Yeah. Well, again, I want to say thank you guys for taking the time to do it, taking time out of your busy schedule. And just know that, our time will be worth it, because I think people will be blessed from hearing these words, man. So again, thank y'all for what you do, and thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for checking out this. Yeah. Thank you guys for checking out this topic session. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.